Good morning, evening, afternoon. Moss here. Hope you're doing fantastic. Welcome to another edition of Moss on Sunday. This is Masati. And what Moss on Sunday is about is literally exposing or uncovering the truth. Not my truth, not what society thinks is true, not what you think is true. Hopefully you resonate with the truth, and that truth is deep inside. It's in our genetic makeup. It's the first principle level truth, basically on universal wisdom, right? Or the physics of how this universe works. So that's what we're always striving for, to live and understand that truth, and then to eventually live from it. Because if we can do that as a human society, then we can transform and we can elevate ourselves. There's no other way. There's simply that's the only way. We have to awaken and go to that higher level of understanding of who we are. So it all begins with ourself. And in this session, it's an actually impact session. We've got a lovely group here that we're going to be working on, focusing in on, and getting into, say, the logistics on how you can transform your life. Again, this is on goal setting. As a note, this is on a pre-record because I'm actually probably will be on a cruise, the Meaning of Life cruise in Tahiti. So for those who can't join, there's always time next time around, right? To really come together with that XI family and physical. All right. So, let's just talk about, say, the logistics of goal setting, the normal levels of goal setting, or the normal methods of goal setting, the way Joe Dispenza, Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, any of those great individuals, right? Or, you've probably learned goal setting techniques. Your company is probably taking you to a seminar on goal setting techniques. There's thousands of books on goal setting techniques. And I'm not saying they're wrong, but we could improve upon it, right? Because those methods, those methodologies were basically written hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago. People used to set goals, but the problem is, and we'll get into, where that goal setting method works, and then where it doesn't, just be, just just to improve, because we can't run from hundreds of years old of technology when in today's world. We just can't do that, right? It's a whole different way of looking at things. So, and again, this isn't about cutting anything down or anything, but it's like, gosh, okay, we did this really, really good. How can we improve? Right? Some people have this identity, especially when, I talk about, their teachers and mentors like Tony and Joe and whoever else. They're fantastic people. I've learned a lot from them. A lot of their clients are my clients, actually, because they couldn't get their complete, say, spherical abundance package from them. Although they learned a lot, there was something missing, and that's the key to goal setting. Is that how can we goal set where there is not anything missing? And I'll tell you what misses, what happens to a lot of people. Okay? And and most people are interested in financial wealth or health or whatever. You can put your goal into it. It doesn't really matter, because this is the mechanism or the tool on how to achieve your goals, no matter what it is. It doesn't matter what goal it is. You want to fall in love, you want to have a great body, you want to cure yourself of some disease, you want to age younger. It's the mechanism that you put yourself this package in. Okay, so you think of it this way: you've got a cart here. You want to achieve something, so you put your intention in this cart, and then you run along this certain situations, certain logistics to get to your achieved goal. Simple as that. Okay. What you put in, then what you're going to get out. So we're going to work on, say, the logistics or the vehicle or the tool of goal setting. I'm not going to go to it in detail, but this is what we do at the higher level, business sessions that we do. Or corporate client sessions that we do. So let's go. Let's make it experiential. Let's take a deep breath in. Even if you're listening to this on a recording, the frequencies are powerful enough that you'll still feel like you're here with me. And just notice your gut. Okay. So here's a couple of issues that I've seen goal setting. And again, goal setting works for a lot of people, and then for a ton more, about 80, 90% more, it doesn't really work at all. For example, for most individuals, they have New Year's resolutions and this is all statistics, by the end of January, most of them are back, or if not worse, back to their old state. So why does that happen? Okay. People go, well, you're not disciplined enough. You're not, you don't have that passion. You're not working, you're lazy and all that. And that could be, sure, that could be. But is there a deeper reason? And with XI, exponential intelligence, we need to go to the deeper and deeper reasons on why things happen, so we can actually access, say, the code of who you are. And once we can edit that code, you do have passion. Once you can edit that code of who you are, you do have that compassion. You have passion. You have motivation. You have the logistics to fulfill the goals that you need. Right. So it might not be at a surface level, but the problem is at a very, very deep level. I would call it your frequency genetics. Right. So here's the biggest problem that I see with normal goal setting. Traditional goal setting is that you lose your identity of who you are. You displace yourself. And I know it sounds crazy, but it's about dimensional space and time. In XI world, it's called actually dimensional goal setting. Okay, so I'll give you the two scenarios, and then we'll get into the topic, the individuals here, so we can apply the concepts. So what most people do is like, I'm here. Okay, the goal that I want is out here, point A, point B, and what happens is that like, what do I have to do to get to point B? And then what they do is like they lose their identity of who they are. They sacrifice themselves. It creates a heavy toll on who they are. They don't know who they are anymore. That's what one of the biggest issues that I have with the high profile clients that I work on. A lot of their spouses go, I don't know who this person is anymore. They've gotten successful. We're more blessed with, the physical blessings of the world, but our relationship sucks. I just don't know who that person is. My kids don't know who that person is. Right? So why does that happen? Because you literally transformed, you morphed, you created a cloak around who you are. Say that you're a sheep. Okay, you're a sheep and you want to be that CEO that makes $1 billion. Okay. Whether you're female, male, whatever it might be, to support your family and to leave a legacy. Okay. That's a lot of people's goals. Right. So what you do is like, okay, what does it take for me to be that CEO? So you didn't fix the problems of who you are. Okay. That goal basically morphed you into another person. So you didn't go from A to B. You didn't travel from A to B to achieve your goals. What you did is literally you stayed on at A, the dimension of who you are, that hurt self that you are, the broken self that you are, that sick self that you are. And then what you did is like, gosh, I need to be this person over here. So you literally moved along your journey. You went and sacrificed the biggest portion of who you are, the most precious, the most tangible portion of who you are, your presence of who you are, okay? Your essence. So you sacrificed the only thing that was valuable for you. And I'll tell you why it's so valuable. So what you did is like, okay, if I want to be a high level CEO, I need to have this habit. I need to have this habit. I need to act like this. I need to dress like this. But that's not the real you. The real you is still stuck here in point A. That's the problem. You created another version of who you are. That other version of you went to point B or Z or whatever, wherever your goal is. You still stayed here. You have two identities. That's one of the biggest issues I have. Now you're in two dimensions. Now you're in two dimensions of space and time. The real identity of who you are, the presence of who you are, the energy of who you are, and then the fake identity of who you are. And people go, well, how can that be fake? It's fake. Look at Kate Spade, look at Anthony Bourdain, look at all those, Kurt Cobain, look at all those individuals who were highly successful. Matt Perry, the most recent, who were highly successful, and they realized that their identity was fake because they still hurt over here. That's the problem, right? You didn't fix, you didn't resolve, you didn't grow into that high level CEO. You just exchanged yourself into another identity. When you reach that goal, you feel empty, and then you have to propel yourself. And then eventually you start to hate your family, you start to hate yourself, you start to hate your identity of who you are, because you're still, when you go back home and look in the mirror, this person still exists. Hence Matthew Perry. Right. So what happens is like, shit, I got to disconnect from this person. I can't stand this person anymore because you morphed into this. Why can't I just be this individual? Well, that's the key. The more successful you become, the more magnified of the distortions that you have happen. Right. And it's a good reason. It's actually a sane reason, but most people don't understand it. The reason why is like they try to hide their identity of who they are. They don't want to know who they are. But instead, you need to reclaim who you are and then heal that inner person. That's the problem. That's a second problem or third problem on traditional goal setting. It doesn't heal the person that you are. It just creates another identity of where you should be to resonate with that frequency of success. So when you reach your goal, it's valueless to you. And then and what people will tell you, like Tony, well, you just set another goal and you keep going. You're a gladiator and you keep pushing yourself forward. Well, that's totally fine. But again, you get darker and darker, or you lose more and more of your who you are. You don't want to do that. Look at Jeff Bezos, okay, from Amazon. Super cool guy. Now, kind of like a tyrant. And a lot of people get that way because they have to meet their bottom line. There's a total different way of doing it. So whether you're a high-level CEO, leader of the world, trying to set your goals or achieve your goals, or you're that one-on-one person, again, the mechanism, the tool is all the same for you. Okay. So I'm not going to get too much in detail. There's actually a lecture series that I'm going to be doing this year on that for the business-minded individuals or the success-minded individuals who want to be their best self. The way we do it, dimensional goal setting is, okay, there's a dimension of who you are here. Okay? There's a dimension of who you are there. This dimension of who you are, say, resonates. You can't see it. So this dimension of who you are, I'll start over. There's a dimension of who you are here. Okay. The one that wants to achieve a goal. So what you do is you go, oh, there's a dimension that already has the goal or is already the person that I need to achieve that goal. There's the key. You create that person that you need to achieve that goal. You resonate at the same frequency, just like Einstein said. You resonate at the same frequency level as the goal. And there's no way in hell you won't achieve your goal. But the key here is that you didn't switch spots. You didn't alienate your original self. What you did through the journey, and this is where most people go, the journey was more exciting than achieving the goal. Because when you get to the finish line, you go, shit, I lost who I am. That's why the journey is more exciting. In this scenario, the journey is very, very exciting because with each step that you take, you are shedding away. You are sacrificing the old version of you that isn't you anyway. It's a pattern of your parents, pattern of genealogy, your grandparents. It's a pattern of society that you're shedding away. So you're cleansing yourself to achieve the luxury items or whatever that you want, the love that you need, or the healing that you need. So you're pulling away. And here's the deal: you're not adding on more garbage as a facade of who you are to achieve that goal. What you're doing is like you're taking away the stuff that wasn't you. So as you get, again, closer and closer to your goal, you're closer and closer to your higher version of who you are. And as you become closer and closer to who you are, you become more magnificent. And that goal that you're achieving, okay, becomes you. It's a part of you. So when you achieve your goal, it's like, gosh, you know what? That's a solid clad guarantee that I have achieved. I am a person that is worthy of this goal. So, so what happens is your identity or who you are, or your essence, your presence, your integrity has elevated to achieve the goal that you want. In this case, if we're talking about money, the higher you are at a frequency level, or the more awakened you are, or the more spiritually clean that you are, okay, you go to a higher level, you naturally become wealthy. And that's where wealth and everything else becomes a reflection of who you are versus a facade of who you are. So the key one aspect of the old traditional goal setting is, one, you lose yourself to achieve the goal. In XI goal setting, dimensional goal setting, again, and this goes beyond the brain. And that's one more thing I want to talk about. You become, again, a reflection of who you are. So you find who you are, you find your natural presence. And this literally changes, say, your genetic coding, your illness patterns, the way you age and so on like that. That's the legacy you leave behind because you cleaned up your version. And especially if you have young kids, right? About under 13, 14, they start to go, gosh, you know what? I'm not going to get the diseases and the bullshit that my parents had. So that's the legacy you're leaving behind, not just the wealth. You're leaving, say, a clean genetic pattern. That's the most important legacy for humankind to survive. And then in that way as well, as you cross over, you hand your legacy or your wealth onto your kids, they don't get fucked up by that wealth. Right? They take it and they move over, move on. They take that baton and move forward rather than recycling all the bullshit that you ran through. Okay. They still have their own trajectories, hardships, and so on to learn to condition themselves, but it's not the same as yours because it's a new world. They shouldn't be going through the same process as yours. Okay. The other aspect that I was going to talk about, now that I forgot, gosh, I forgot it. Um, I forgot. We'll come back to it if it comes back. But let's jump back. Let's jump on to these lovely people here, and we'll see where they are and what they've gone through with XI. And as I scan them, they all seem that they're going to go into that next level and of identifying who they are, which is a beautiful thing. And as a note, on a recording, as I work on one individual, I'll be working on you as a group as well. Okay, so very, very powerful. All right, so we'll go to Lionel first.
Well,
Hey,
Mas,
how you doing, buddy?
yeah, I'm doing all right now.
Okay.
I've
Um,
been on the journey for a while.
okay. Anything special that you want to work on or whatever I see in you?
Yeah, no, I want to share a little bit. In
Mhm,
the context of, let's say, goal setting, what I struggle with a lot right
mhm,
now
mhm.
is that I often feel I feel hijacked by an identity or imprisoned by an identity that kind of has a negative experience of life,
Yep.
and that I can't just seem to shake or really change. And
Yep.
obviously the frequencies amplify things, so I experience it more than before, which
Hmm.
kind of is unsettling, but it affects kind of my brain and my head area, my forehead, and my
Hmm.
groin, I think.
Right.
And the the focus or the concentration, I'd like to kind of find out what I want or discover.
Mhm.
So an identity issue, that's what I'm coming with, but whatever you see, and that was the
Right.
piece that I wanted to share. Yeah.
So Lionel, so that's fantastic. Just take a breath in, just notice your collarbone and your throat area. Okay. So when you say identity issues, I see, I totally exactly see what you mean. And the more wealth that you have, or the more success that you have, the more love that you have, or whatever it is, the more abundance that you have of this reality, the more that identity issue becomes a problem. The more awakened you become, the more, say, heightened it's become. And it doesn't mean it hasn't gotten worse, by the way. It's just gotten more magnified so you can observe yourself. So just
Mm-hmm.
know with the XI, guys, sometimes people go, well, I did XI and now, exponential intelligence, or I became, exponentially intelligent and my situation got worse. It actually didn't get worse. It actually, where you are, you were part of the problem. You were part of the issue that you're talking about right now. And even your statement and how clear you expressed your statement, you're in the forest. You could have never expressed it in that way because you were part of the problem. What you've done through XI, Lionel, is like you separated yourself. That's what I was talking about. You're shedding away or you're sacrificing your old self. Sometimes it's really hard, especially when it's almost like you think it's part of you, especially when, at maybe 2 or 3 or 4 years of age, from what I'm seeing, it became like your identity, especially when it's, you're that young, you think things are your identity. Did you die, or did your parents have a death scare of you dying when you were young?
It hasn't come up before in the sessions, and I don't recall anything like that, but I do feel that I have a lot of energy of fear and panic, and that comes from a really young age, but I can't really tell what it was from. But it probably pulled me out of my body, you said before, really strongly. So that may be what you're referring to, but I don't have any scenario to
Yeah, and
reference.
you can check with your mom. You might have gotten really sick, or you might have got into an accident where, again, there was a death scare of you dying, or it might not even be you. It could be like, say, your mom got a call. It's like, hey, your mom is dying, that kind of deal, that kind of scenario, and then she gets a fear. So it's a fear of death, whether from you dying or, say, a loved one of especially your mom dying.
Yeah, yeah,
So what happens in that scenario? Your mom gets so heightened, her fear gets so heightened that it's a space of death. She literally starts to create a separation of death. because your mom is a great creator. She's a great warrior, by the way. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She can manifest, but she manifests the wrong things, unfortunately. You
Mm-hmm.
guys, if you're a warrior, you're a great creator. You're a great goal setter. But again, you're just focusing in on the wrong things. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
You need to focus in on the good things that can happen for you. So for your mom, it's like, oh shit, and then she goes into an experience of her dying, which distorts you. So when I see you, Lionel, you're just kind of like, you're not like perfectly congruent. You're just like kind of off a little
Mm-hmm.
bit, and that's where your life, you always feel off to people. You always feel off to yourself. You can't really say connect with people in that
Yeah.
way. Does that make
Yeah.
sense to you?
Yeah, it
Something is
does.
off because it's a time value, time and space value. Yours is more of a reality value. Yeah, to put it simply, for you is like you're on the verge of death. So you're crossing. Sometimes you cross the veil, physical form, death, right? So you're right. Sometimes you cross that veil and it's like shit. I don't feel like I'm here anymore. Does that make sense to you? Or you don't
Yeah.
feel real anymore,
I was
right?
kind of slipping away feeling sometimes as well, like with
Exactly.
holding my reality together almost. Or I don't know. Yeah, that comes up to.
Exactly. So the more successful you get, you start to live on the other side of the curtain, not the physical
Yeah.
side. So your pattern, an extreme pattern, you become very high, you become highly successful. And then what happens is you become maniacal because
Mm.
you live outside. And this is where, people like you, highly intelligent and so on, you have to control more and more and more of of your physical realm, or latch on to
Mm-hmm.
things. That's control, to go, no, I'm a living being. I'm not pulled on that side.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense for you?
Yeah.
Sometimes really tense, so to speak. So that's where that comes, or really angry, or you try to control your emotions. So take a breath in, my friend. In the past, what you've done with XI is really, really fantastic. What you've done is going, I'm too close to the border of life and death. I need to be over here. So you've literally found, say, a neighborhood of where you want to live in dimensional space and time, but you haven't picked, say, a specific house or a specific
Mm-hmm.
location within that dimension. So as I was speaking with you, I was kind of like showing you around and going, oh, I like this neighborhood. I like this city. I like this neighborhood. I like this house. So I was pinpointing exactly, giving you a specific location on what's best for you. And Lionel, that's just a starting point for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It doesn't mean that you live in that location. And by the way, I didn't select it for you. I was just like kind of guiding you. Go, hey, do you like this? Do you like this? Do you like this? Do you like this? So I do a lot of things while I'm speaking to people, by the way, on the back end. So it's like you literally bought a location, bought a house. So that's your new coordinate, that's your new coordinate of self. So in this scenario, and I think you're good with it, is like you start to really identify who you are. You start to go, okay, the old sense of Lionel, that's not me anymore, because I'm living in this, 5 star, say, not hotel, but house. Does that make sense? So you just start shifting. Take a breath in. Yeah, just give me a second here. Do you feel more like put together?
Yeah, I feel like the offness is coming back to
Yep,
time, space
yep,
coordinates.
yep. Because you're not close to the border
Yeah,
of death.
there's not that constant anxiety in the background, tension, kind of fear. Yeah.
Exactly. And again, the people on this call, they're more, say, XI compliant. So you will literally see the changes or feel the changes almost immediately. So now you're in a neighborhood, a beautiful neighborhood, beautiful house. So you're going to start to enjoy who Lionel is. And as you enjoy who Lionel is, this is where, you start to achieve more. And this is where you can flourish and expand. And this is where your goal setting actually starts to take place. Okay. Where you
Thank you
find
so
yourself.
much.
All right, buddy?
Yeah, yeah, thank you. Well, one quick thing, does it
Mhm.
also affect my physical, like the inflammation that I have quite a lot of, and the kind of the physical can
Yeah.
that sort of, will that be related?
Yes, you'll also become more masculine. No
Yeah.
offense, buddy, because your mom has like literally wrapped, or you allowed your mom to wrap herself. You were
Mm,
basically an anchor point for your mom when she was going through that experience.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that starts to leave. So yeah, you have more of a feminine type bone structure. Those literally those changes will you'll start to see that as well as you
Yeah.
come into your own. All right, buddy.
Brilliant.
So super
Thank
nice
you.
job. You're welcome.
Thanks.
We'll go to Christine, and then to Mina. Christine, hi. How are you, hon?
Hi, Moss. How are you? I'm so
I'm
happy to
doing.
be here.
Oh, awesome. I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here. Anything special you want to work on?
I'm thrilled about the topic. I've
Mhm,
done privates with you, the 18
mhm,
days to human
mhm.
reset, so I will lean on you and hear what you have to say.
Awesome. Well, the good thing is that you're not leaning on me as a guru type frequency. You're just want to hanging out with me, paralleling me. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's use the parallel. I think and I want to take a breath in and notice your feminine identity. So, what makes you feminine in the physical? You know, your physical features of being female. Okay, and then the lower part of your brain. So again, your feminine parts, basically, and all of you can do that, and then the lower part of your brain. All right. So the reason why I say that, Christine, is that say you lean on somebody. Okay, so kind of watch your vocabulary because this is where psychology comes in, and again, this is where the Tony Robbins, Joe Dispenzas of the world, they're fantastic. This is the level that they're at. Okay, so what happens is that when you say you're leaning on somebody, back in the day, you actually leaned on people. Say that you were lost, you were dating a guy, you morphed into that guy over time. You literally built yourself around that person. Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely. Completely lost my identity and sense of self. And in the past 2.5 years, my
Mhm.
focus has been truth and authenticity. And
Yep.
that has been life changing for me.
Right. So in this scenario, what we're going to help you do, instead of you like leaning on somebody and losing your identity, it's like, well, let's just keep you on your path and then take a look at where I'm going on my path, and what I'm doing on my path, so you can start doing it on your own. Okay.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense for you?
Yes,
Okay. Are we all ready for that, guys? This
absolutely.
is where again you don't turn into your mentors. This is a lot of problems with mentors. Take a breath in, hon. Notice your spine, your feminine parts, the lower part of your brain, the most feminine part, by the way. There we go. And we'll talk about that in a bit. This is where you're under mentorship with somebody. You know they're alcoholic, and they're teaching you great stuff, and then you learn that great stuff. You become successful, and then you also become alcoholic because again you got stuck on your path. What I do and what XI does is like no, you have to stay on your own path. So it's a little more difficult because you have to stay on your own path. You can't be supported by anybody, and you've done a great job, by the way, especially the past, say, I want to say 6 to 7 months. I don't know what you've done, but you're like leaning way this way. Now you're just like a little bit off. I'm just like putting you like dead center for you. Okay. So very, very congruent. So that's that last step. It finishes you off and it also locks you into your identity of who you are. And you'll see some really cool changes, by the way. This is where you look in the mirror and you go, wait a second, this, by the way, this side of you looks like your grandmother, or yeah, one side of you looks like your grandmother. The other side of you looks like another individual, by the way. So, uh,
Okay.
um, but have you ever noticed that people go, well, this side looks better than this side, right? Although have you ever seen women do that? I have, my left side is better on pictures than my right side. The reason this is just a takeoff, guys, by the way, but the reason why that is because the frequency, you might be more, say, conducive to that frequency, or say you liked your grandmother a lot. Grandmother was really pretty, so that frequency of her beauty like shows through. So the reason why I say that, hon, is that you're going to start looking in the mirror. This is how solid you become, and you go, oh, so there's going to be bits and pieces like this side is of your grandmother, your hands, your hands, your forearms, especially, or of your grandmother, and so on, or it could be your mom. either way, but a feminine frequency, and you're going to be start shedding away those patterns, and you're going to turn into what Christine should look like. Does
That
that
would
make
be
sense?
amazing. That would be
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. And this is really beautiful for you, hon, because over time, what'll happen is that this is where you see and you find more and more of who you are. So the more wealth that you have, the more goals that you achieve, again, the way I described it, you become more and more of who you are. This is where your disease patterns, you don't have to age or get disease like your parents. So you're completely letting go and creating an identity because you're still leaning on your parents, so to speak. If you're still borrowing from their, say, facial structure and genetic patterns, you're still kind of leaning on them or they're leaning on you. But this is going to be so solid for you. And this is where a true definition of an XI woman starts coming in. I see that coming in, and that's why I wanted you to focus on, the feminine part that you are. So this is where, again, when you become successful, you don't have to sacrifice yourself and use, say, masculine, say, masculine, a masculine form of success, a masculine form of becoming um, solid, masculine form of becoming independent, financially independent. Before, you'd always used to depend on other people to create your identity of security, fortune, and fame, I guess you could call it. Did that make sense for you?
It does make sense. Would you mind giving me the XI, what the XI version looks like in the feminine of
Mhm.
success? Does that make sense?
Beautiful. Yep, that's what you're morphing into. And it's not just a mental state. By the way, Christine, you've done a fantastic job. I'm really proud of you. But did you notice that you you didn't make a mental decision to change? Something changed in you, and then your mental state changed. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It has been a frequency journey and
Yep.
observing the changes that are associated with the change in frequency. Definitely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So in most cases, again, what most people teach you is like, no, you have to change your mental state, and that'll help you. It doesn't work that way. You have to change your essence of who you are. So that XI version is, say people want financial security or they want to become successful. What they do in today's reality, in today's world, humans have denoted or say slated that success is a man's pattern. So this is where most women lose themselves. Success is just success. There's no masculine frequency. There's no feminine frequency. And even in the spiritual world, oh, security, it's a masculine pattern. Hell no. In the animal world, security comes from a female version, by the way. Totally, totally different. So you start to remove, say, what masculine feminine is. Okay. Success is just a success frequency. That's it. If you put it on, say, a solid woman like you're morphing into, even physical features, hon, by the way, you become more of a solid woman, an XI woman, and you define who you are. You don't lose who you are. But in today's society, you're a woman, kind of broken. You want to become successful to feel complete, and you're going to copy a pattern of success that's masculine, it's a masculine version, and plop it on yourself. This is where most people, you can look at any successful woman that I've seen. I haven't seen one woman except maybe one, and that was actually Princess Noor from back in the day in Turkey. I don't know if she's still around, but she was a solid woman, by the way. But that's something else. So the key is that, again, you're going to have success patterns defined for you or tailored by you. And that's what I was helping you with. One, redefining who you are at a very, very deep level. And even now, I'm actually seeing the beauty of Christina coming through, not your aunt's or your grandmother's pattern. So you're going to start feeling, when you look in the mirror, hon, you're going to go, oh, my left arm is so and so, my leg is this so and so. Be happy for that, because those frequencies are leaving you and the pure version of Christine is coming through.
Amazing. 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 And thank you, Moss.
You're so welcome. Really nice job. Beautiful.
Thank you.
All right. We'll go to Mina. I think that really helped Catherine as well. from what I'm seeing. Hey, Mina, how are you, hon?
I'm good, Moss. How are you? Good
Good.
morning.
Morning. Anything special you want to work on, hon?
I am coming into a lot of new things. I started a new job, a promotion. I've
Mhm.
been commuting to it, but I'm ready to move to a new place in that city too. So a lot of things. And
Yep.
a lot of the times I have just trouble accepting abundance on
Yeah.
all levels without, burdens or sacrifice. So I just want to be able to just accept the good things
Yep.
in life.
Yeah, and Mina, you've done a fantastic job. How long have you been with XI, by the way?
A long time.
Okay.
I started it's so many changes. I don't even recognize myself, but my first
Beautiful.
time meeting you was
Hmm.
all the way back in 2014.
Okay.
So it's
Wow.
been,
Wow. How
yeah.
old were you then? Just a little kid or what? I don't
No, no, no.
Okay.
I'm 35. Yeah.
You're 35? Okay. So got it. Wow. That's beautiful. So and I'll just get to the point with you, Mina. In the past, and again, you've changed so much, you don't recognize yourself. In the past, you would always seclude yourself or you'd isolate yourself. That makes sense for you to protect yourself. So what's happening for you is that your equation to success, or again having the good things in life, means that you would have to be abused. So back in the day, I don't think that was your equation. I don't see anything with you being abused, or maybe you've cleaned yourself up. I can't read it for you. But does that make sense for you? Does abuse kind of run in your family, or was your father afraid of because you're a girl, you be abused or taken
Yeah,
advantage
there was a lot of fear, the protection, isolation, just sheltering, definitely.
Okay. So that's the key. Take a breath in, hon. So in your family value, and guys, if you have daughters, you don't want to run this pattern, by the way. You want to create solid, say, icons of a strong woman. You want to perpetuate them to be you're a solid woman. Okay. Because what a lot of fathers do, especially, as their teenagers, as their daughters go into teenage years, is that they start to create a protective worry shell around that girl. Okay. And then for some girls like Mina, they start to absorb that pattern. So that pattern of worry or being abused or being taken advantage of becomes their worry, but they don't know what to do with it because they can't associate, because they might have not had a physical experience of that, although they'll feel it inside. Hence, for Mina, over the years, I'm just kind of cleaning up. You've done a great job, but let's just make it more succinct, and I'll explain how that works in the XI or at a higher level for those who are higher level XIers. So what you've done from that, take a breath in, hon, and just notice your whole body. What you've done is you've taken that fear, and that fear runs with you no matter what you do back in the day. Does that make sense to you, Mina? Did that make sense for you,
Yeah.
hon? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just
So
always afraid of losing what I achieve or money I get or relationships I'm in. And that worry kind of like perpetuates me actually losing it.
yep,
So,
exactly. So what you've done to this point, and this is where it's really where it gets really cool for you after this session. And again, take a breath in. Just notice your backside, your shoulders, back of the head, back of the neck. Um, the reason why I say that is like you're always hypersensitive to your surroundings, or back in the day you were. But just note that, as you get connected to your higher self has your back on. So you don't always have to keep looking around or turning around or wondering when, that shoe is going to drop, so to speak, when the next shoe is going to drop. You don't have to do that anymore at this level that you're at. And that's what I'm closing off those patterns for you. So do you see how that happens? Or again, parents really worry a lot about their kids to protect them, and then that worry becomes that child's, say, life. And then they try to protect themselves, but from themselves, but you can't do that. It's kind of like moving away from your shadow. And that's a problem there, right? Because it's not a mental state anymore. It's your identity. So in this scenario, hon. You've separated your identity from who you are, or the worry pattern, and who you are. So what that means is the worry or fear will actually guide you into situations that are beneficial for you rather than destroy you and like reconnect to situations that are, say, not that great for you. So take a breath in again, hon. Did all that make sense for you? You have questions?
Yeah,
Okay.
it does. And the relationships wise, that also prevents me from connecting with people.
Yep.
Because of that worry and being taken advantage of and all of that.
Yep.
So I have been like physically isolating myself for a while now too. And
Yep.
then going to work and everything, it's such a busy, fast-paced environment that I'm always very like vigilant, and then it tires me out. So
Yep. The reason why you're in a fast-paced environment, because it gives you an excuse and not to interact with people. Although you'd love to interact with people, because if you interact with people, that means that they come into your space, and then they might destroy you or take advantage of you and so on. So in this case, you will ward off people, although you'll feel it right away. If like somebody is not good for you, men or women, they're not good for you, you'll feel them around you. It's like, that's not good for you. It's your opportunity. Again, this is where you use psychology and so on. It's your opportunity to go, nope, and you do something physical. Or even at a mental level, you go, no, I don't need to do that. That's not me anymore. And you disconnect. So you confirm what I helped you do in today's session for you. So you're going to get into interactions, and you'll actually see the fast-paced, say, work process that you do actually slow down because you're in time. You don't have to worry about it. So it's going to be a lot easier for you. All right, honey?
yeah.
Nice job. Very
Thank
nice.
you.
You're so
Thank
welcome. We'll go to Catherine and then to Stephanie. Hey, Catherine, how are you?
Hi, Mas. How are you?
I'm doing really well. How are you doing?
Good. Fantastic.
Good. Nice. And again, you're beautiful, but you look more feminine to me.
Yeah, what you said with Christine really resonated. So half the face, I resonated with that. I have the good side and the not good side, but yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah. Anything special you want to work on? Again, you've changed so much doing the XI journey. If you want to share it, that's fine. If you don't, that's cool. If there's anything specific you want to work on, or basically I can just take you to that next level of where you need to be.
yes, I've been working with you for 7 years, and I've changed physically. My whole life has changed. I'm in kind of a new beginning now. So whatever you see and whatever you can help me with, that would be fantastic.
Sure. Just do people have bone issues in your family, or hip issues or something?
No, but I went into a cold plunge on Friday and my bones were really affected. The guide said that it was because I have inflammation or stored something in my bones. I don't know. So yes.
Okay. Okay. So it's true. So again, this is how deep the XI work or the XI journey is for you. So take a breath in, hon. Just notice your bones. All right. So cold plunges are great, by the way. But for you, what's happening is that as you get older, it seems like in your family, you seem to shrink. Your bones seem to shrink, or you get smaller. I could be
Yes,
off.
my mom, I was just telling her she shrunk. She used to be taller than me, and now she's like here at my nose. So yes, you're right on.
Okay. So those are bone issues that I would say. So do you have to go through that process? No, you don't. So nice job, sweetie. So you're getting that to that deeper level. It's like, hey, I don't have to shrink like my mom. So that's why let's just work on your bone structure. So you're really recalibrating yourself. And this is what we normally do between, say, 0 to 7 years of age. We start to see the patterns of our parents. We should be starting to see the patterns of our parents. And our parents should be helping us going, you know what, I've got bone issues. You don't need that. And then it starts to code your mental framework to go, oh, I see mom's bone issues. I don't need that at that young age. And by the time, you're in your teens and 20s, or actually by the time you go through puberty, a little younger, early teens, you start to, say, eradicate the bone issue problems that come into your genetics. Okay. So for you, Catherine, Since you didn't learn how to do that back when you were between 7 to 14 years of age, you're going to go back and feel like you're a young girl. There's nothing
Okay.
wrong with that, by the way, right? It's beautiful. You might even go through puberty again a little bit differently, because that's the point where your bone structure, say, kind of gets set in place. From what I'm seeing, I'm not a doctor or anything, but I just see things, and then you're going to go back and then reset yourself where your bones become, say, a strong, say, female adult. And this is
Okay.
where, again, you would have that propensity not to shrink. So, and it's not just shrinking bone wise or physically, it's shrinking as a life. Your whole life starts to shrink and you don't do as much
Hmm.
as your family ages, right? And then you depend on other people, or you kind of not isolate yourself, but no matter where you are, you just kind of basically like you're kind of waiting for death to happen as you
Okay.
age. Does that make sense in your family? They're just kind of like, I'm so and such years old. I'm just waiting now. It's that kind of pattern. I don't know if
It
that makes
does.
sense. Right? Yeah.
It does resonate very
Yeah.
much.
So how old are you? Can I ask?
43.
Okay. 43 is still really young. You're going through, say, that menopause. And for women who go through menopause, it's basically what happens is that you go through menopause, and then basically what happens is like women lose their identity of who they
Hmm.
are. Right? And this is where they become lifeless or motionless. Sensuality, sexuality, all that intimacy and all that stuff kind of goes out the window, because our hormones are off. But in the real world, in the XI world, the real world, it's just basically is like you go through menopause. So because you just basically lose the propensity of having kids, not the propensity of your life, but in your family, basically, you go through menopause and your life ends. So the
Hmm.
meaning of what women are in your family, hon, you're basically child bearers. That's uh, that's the identity of physical feminine identity in your lineage or maybe your culture as well. So you're leaving that behind. Okay. Take a breath in. Notice your spine, your groin area, hon. So whenever you're going to reach menopause, like again, most women do go through that process. It's almost like you're aging younger, though. So I kind of see you in your late 30s or mid 30s from what I'm seeing. So,
Yeah. I had a session with you and you said I went back to 36.
okay.
So,
Yeah, beautiful. So this is another reason too, where you might feel like literally like a 13, 14-year-old girl. Okay. This is
okay.
where it resets your hormones. Some women actually get, if they had acne when they went through puberty, you'll get acne when you go through puberty. That's how, say, real it becomes for the body. So you might have, say, some of the sensations of being a younger girl in your body. So it's normal, and then it re rebalances who you are. And this
Okay.
is where you
Does it
start
have,
operating at a 34, 35-year-old level rather than a 43-year-old.
does it have anything to do with this pressure I feel in my head since yesterday? It's all in the front of my head. I'm not sure if that.
Um, it could. Your identity is actually in your head
Okay.
for you, or it could be, whatever is going around. I don't know. But let's use it to your advantage. Take a breath in. From what I'm seeing is, Catherine, in the past, and this is where I could see that happen, in the past, you would again go after a goal.
Hmm.
Okay. You would leave yourself here and you would literally just leave your body and leave your identity. Especially if it's a love relationship, you would get lost in that love relationship. That makes sense? And then it
Yes.
wouldn't benefit you. Yes,
Yes.
intimacy and all that stuff, because again, your identity is here. You
Hmm.
literally step out of yourself to go reach a goal.
That makes
So
sense.
in this case, you're not doing that anymore. You're actually pulling yourself back. Okay. So in
Okay.
this case, I'm going to just create a solidness for you.
Okay.
Uh, Okay, take a breath in. And then when we do that, goals come to you, or things come to you. You don't lose or sell yourself to go accomplish a goal. You just resonate as the solid, confident woman that you are, right? And then things will approach you. People will approach you. You don't approach them. That's true honor for anybody, especially a woman, right? So that's what you're getting into. So I'm really, really excited for you. I also see some. Are you starting a business with somebody?
No, but I am creating an inspiring women's event all about beauty, inner and outer beauty, and merging the two worlds together.
Okay. Okay. So
That's
that's what I'm seeing. I think you might like, there might be somebody else that you connect with that helps
okay.
you and would love to be part of it. So talk to Faye on that.
Okay.
But yeah, there's somebody else outside of us that'll come in and kind of help you put things together. So it gains that momentum. So nice job. So that works
Perfect.
out really well for you. Okay, huh?
Thank
Nice.
you.
You're so welcome. Huh? We'll go to Stephanie. Hi, Steph. How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Still loving the experiences in Ibiza. Right, we had a great
Yeah,
time. It was really fun.
it's really great remembering them.
Yeah. So, anything special we want to work on, hon?
Well, we checked in about a month ago, and you were talking about how I was skipping levels. I've been promoted to reach out to Zach and Emmy, and yeah, Zach and I have been talking. Gonna check in after he's got back from Fiji. I set up my website, and I'm launched my podcast. My podcast will be out by the time this is out. It's called The Conscious Pioneer. And yeah, so a lot of things have been flowing. I got on a live with someone recently with 150K followers, and a lot of people started following me, and like, so it's all happening, but everything feels very like edgy. I'm kind of, it's almost like I'm going down a black run on the ski slope, and it's kind of like, oh, oh.
Yeah. Yep. Go ahead.
And I've just got some physical pain that I've been letting go of, sort of like almost like muscular, but also in my abdomen, like my groin, left side. I would love if you could just help me out with that. When I checked in about it, it's like, oh, it's just stuff leaving, but just wanted to bring it up. Yeah.
Yep. Take a breath in and just notice those areas for you. This is really, again, another success story on, say, dimensional goal setting. So you've come into yourself before or in the past, Stephanie, just to help the listeners. In the past, you would have actually had an identity and you would have lost yourself, no matter what it is, whether it's helping people or doing I don't know, something. Another career, what it might be. Again, you'd sacrifice yourself or your real self of who you are and put on this facade of who Stephanie would be. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah.
Okay. So over the years, what you've done is, or the months actually, you've taken away a lot of that, and you know who Stephanie is. And then now you're coming into, say, success or awareness from other people, especially on social media. And it actually, when people do that, when people, whether it's on social media or on stage, this is where stage fright comes in. Okay, or people would rather die than speak in public. So that's how bad it is. And the reason why is that when all those eyes or all those frequencies are looking at you, you basically get exposed to who you are and all your insecurities show up. What most people do in that scenario is that, well, I'll just blank it out. I'll pretend that they're not wearing anything or whatever, things do. But in the XI world, it's like, okay, all the weaknesses are showing up. It's like, hey, congratulations. But if you want to be successful on stage and not destroy yourself and elevate yourself and your audience, well, what you want to do is take a look at those weaknesses or insecurities. You don't want to just handle them. You don't want to just, put a Band-Aid on them. You want to take a look at them deeply and go, okay, that stuff is not working for me. So what do I need to do? And that's what you're doing right now. And with more eyes on you, Steph, some of your weaknesses or, the deeper or granular weaknesses within you are coming to focus. So it doesn't mean that they weren't there before. Just give me a second. Again, it does mean that they weren't there before. They've always been there. You've done a great job cleaning it up, but now you're getting to the nitty gritty, the back of the details and fine tuning and cleaning up yourself at that level. Okay. So in this scenario, because you're still young, in this scenario, as you age, you're not going to have, just like who was it? Catherine. She's not going to have issues with, say, getting shorter. You're truncating that, or you're eliminating those issues off the bat, even before you experience them. So plus there's a lot of memories, identity memories of you, of being a woman as well. So those patterns are leaving. And this is where and I'll give you an example outside of you. This is where, say, you might have had surgery, or you have scars. Okay. When people have scars, the reason why the scars, especially really severe scars, what happens is that they hold on to the memory. It's at a cellular memory. So the cells that heal, they're distorted and they get frozen in that way. Okay, take a breath in, Steph. So what they go through is, through the process of XI, they actually start to heal those memories. So they might start getting pain, like if they had a surgery or whatever happened for them to get that scar or stitches. And then as they heal themselves from the memories, the scars actually start to disappear, because again, those cells are, say, more robust or more healthy. So that's what you're going through. Did you have any surgeries or anything, by the way? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it. I didn't know you had that. Okay. So basically, the person that you were when you had the surgeries, let's just say, was broken. Okay.
Yeah.
And you went through the surgeries, and then the surgeries kind of froze in time because they have to heal. And then those memories, or that identity of that cellular structure, memories, by the way, are cellular memories are not, they're stored by the shape of the cell. It's really intriguing. I don't know why I'm telling you this, but I think you're going to be helping people. This will help you deeper knowledge of XI. So if that cell is distorted, and then it gets, it has to heal something or put it together, say in a surgery, it just gets frozen in time and it gets stuck, and that cell can't change. Right. So what you're doing is you're literally healing the experience of that person that went through that surgery, you.
Got it.
And as that moves away, you'll see the pain come in that area, and then it has a chance to heal properly this time without the identity of, say, a broken person stuck in it. That makes sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're getting ready to go on stage. You're getting ready to heal yourself at a very, very deep level. Congratulations, son. And this is where, again, you're young, you're beautiful. You get to stay young and beautiful. You start to not age like your parents or society or anything like that. So nice job. Nice job. And
one thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just about, I guess, well, I'm starting my first frequency group alongside Human Reset.
Okay. Awesome.
Next month. Faye sorted me out with an affiliate link. So yeah, I just want to just bring that into the picture, just and also money wise and offering my services. Last week I felt like I released a lot around like past lives, not like asking for money for God's work, frequency work. So I just wanted to check in around that. And I had a big chat about my mom, because she's helping me out right now, but she was coming from a big lack frequency. And I felt like when she was giving to me, I could feel that. So I feel like our conversation really helped, but just moving forward, I just wanted to check in with you about those themes.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with your parents, say, supporting you as you go through this process. But the key is, as they support you, you'll start to see that, one, they're giving you the money, but then they're also giving you their back end problems or their back end way of controlling you with that money. So that's why, so what you're doing, Steph, is that you're pushing away. It's like, yes, thank you for the financial support, but you can keep this stuff. So what happens is that it awakens your mom as well, because you're giving back that gift. Although it could be from a loving perspective or not, it doesn't really matter. But you just want to accept. You just want the financial security from that money, not everything else associated with it. So you're separating yourself from it, which is really great. So as you release lack patterns and everything else, notice stuff that you're fine. Things work out for you. Does that make sense? You're not on the street. Something always shows up for you, although you're fearful. That makes sense for you?
Yeah.
So when that happens, you start to stand on your feet, and then security comes from an internal perspective. And sometimes it's a hard lesson for people. But in your scenario, you're learning it. And it's like, wait a second, security comes from an internal perspective. And then when you have that internal perspective of security and you're good, you start to create security on the outside, which is a reflection of money coming into you. Right? Mm-hmm. This is where people, and then people have done this, right? Wealthy individuals, they have no credit cards, no debt, no bank accounts, no money or anything, just maybe like $100, and they go into a city, all brand, total stranger, and they create massive amounts of wealth. So that internal security of knowing that they can create massive amounts of wealth, that's the intrinsic value that I'm talking about. They know who they are at a deeper level. So you're starting to replace the lack patterns of your family into that space where anywhere you can go, you can create that security. Right?
Yeah.
All right, honey. Nice job.
Thank you so much, Mas.
You're so welcome. All right, guys. I think that's it. I think it was really a powerful session, very applicable to many individuals who are but merging the possibilities of who they are into the physical reality, so they can manifest who they really are into this physical realm. All right, guys. So thanks for being here. Thanks, guys, for attending. Notice what you notice, and notice the details of what you're noticing. All right. Peace.